Let me ask you a serious question. When something goes wrong in your life, do you pause and take responsibility, or do you instantly point the finger at someone else? Because here's the truth, as long as it's always someone else's fault, you'll never grow, you'll stay stuck. You'll stay average. And average, my friend, is a disease. Growth starts the moment you stop making excuses and start owning your life. This is Grind Success, where we help you rise above comfort, build your character, and become a high-value man. If you're ready to stop playing the victim and start taking control of your future, then hit that subscribe button, because this video is going to wake you up. Stop defending yourself and listen when it hurts. The first sign of real maturity is how you respond when someone calls you out. Do you fight back? Or do you listen, especially when it stings? Most people live in defense mode. They can't hear feedback without feeling personally attacked. But Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better." And better only happens when you drop the defense and embrace the discomfort. If you always need to explain yourself, justify yourself, or blame others, you miss the gold and the pain. Growth doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It shows up disguised as criticism. You must train yourself to listen. Especially when your ego wants to talk. Don't say, "But you don't understand me." Say, "What if they're right?" Even if they're wrong, what if there's some truth in it for you to grow from? You can't fix what you refuse to face, so stop defending your weakness. Listen, learn, and level up. Admit you were wrong, even if it stings. Pride has ruined more men than failure ever could. The inability to admit, "I was wrong," keeps people small. But here's the truth, admitting you're wrong doesn't weaken you. It frees you. Jim Rohn once said, "You cannot change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction." That direction starts the moment you say, "I messed up. That was me." You want to know what takes real strength, not pretending to be right, but being humble enough to say, "I made a mistake." People respect transparency far more than perfection, and more often than not, your pride is just fear in disguise, fear of looking weak, fear of losing face, fear of being judged. But high-value men don't run from that. They own it. It stings in the moment, but freedom lives on the other side of that sting. Your healing starts when your hiding stops. So the next time you're tempted to cover your tracks, just stop, take a deep breath, and say the words that strong men say, "I was wrong." It's not easy, but it's how you grow. Say, "It's on me," before blaming anyone else. Before you point a single finger, stop and ask yourself one powerful question: what part of this is my responsibility? You see, blame is easy, responsibility is rare. But Jim Rohn taught us that you must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. When something goes wrong, the world will hand you 1,000 excuses, but successful people don't take them. They say, "It's on me." Not because it's always their fault, but because responsibility gives you power, and blame takes it away. If it's always your boss, your parents, your friends, or society, then you're just a puppet waiting for someone else to fix your life. But when you say, "It's on me," you grab the steering wheel. Now you can move. Now you can grow. Don't wait for the world to be fair. Don't wait for others to change. Own your role, even if it's 10%. Growth lives there. Say it proudly, "It's on me." Your first reaction reveals your real pattern. You can learn everything you need to know about yourself by paying attention to how you react when things go wrong. Your first reaction is your real default setting. Jim Rohn said, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment." That includes emotional discipline too. When someone gives you feedback, do you flinch, defend, shut down, or get angry? That knee-jerk reaction isn't just a feeling, it's a mirror. The truth is, most people react without thinking. They blame without pausing. They speak without reflecting. But if you want to grow, you must become a master of the pause. Catch yourself in the moment. Ask, "Why did I react that way? Is this who I want to be?" This doesn't mean you never feel frustration. It means you don't let your reaction run the show. Your first instinct might be to blame, but your second thought should be to reflect. Slow the moment down. See yourself clearly, because when you master your reactions, you master your results. Why playing the victim keeps you powerless? There's one mindset that will keep you broke: broken, and bitter for life. The victim mindset. The moment you say, "They did this to me," you hand them your power. You say, "They control how I feel. They control my future." Jim Rohn warned us, excuses are the nails used to build a house of failure. And the victim builds his whole house on excuses. Now, life isn't fair. You'll face pain that wasn't your fault, but staying in pain, that is your fault. Victims wait to be rescued. Leaders rise to take responsibility. Even when life deals you a bad hand, you still choose how to play it. The victim says, "Why me?" The high-value man says, "What now?" You were not born to stay stuck. You were not built to stay broken. And blaming the world won't heal your wounds, action will. So don't tell yourself the sad story again. Don't repeat the reasons why you can't. Tell yourself the truth. You're capable, you're responsible, and the story isn't over, unless you stay a victim. The world owes you nothing. Build anyway. One of the most dangerous lies is this, that the world owes you something. Your background, your suffering, your potential, none of it guarantees success. Jim Rohn put it bluntly, life does not get better by chance. It gets better by change. Nobody is coming to hand you the life you want, not the government, not your parents, not your friends. The sooner you stop expecting something for nothing, the faster you'll start building something worth having. Now hear this clearly, you are not entitled to success, but you are capable of earning it. Don't waste your energy crying for fairness. Fair is not the standard, growth is. If you want more, become more. If life is hard, get stronger. You don't wait for the world to bless you, you bless the world with your value. So wake up every day and say, "The world owes me nothing, but I owe myself everything." And then go build it, brick by brick, action by action, because that's how men become unstoppable. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Comfort feels good, it's cozy, predictable, safe, but it's also the quiet killer of dreams. Jim Rohn said, "If you are not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary." Comfort keeps you ordinary. It's a velvet trap that lulls you into staying the same. When you chase comfort, you avoid growth, you dodge challenges, you delay success. Because progress doesn't live in ease, it lives in struggle, it's forged in discomfort. Ask yourself, are you living for comfort or progress? If you choose comfort, you'll keep getting the same results. If you choose progress, you'll have to lean into pain, uncertainty, and hard work. But that's the price of greatness. The high-value man knows this truth. Comfort is not the goal, growth is. The road to your best self is paved with sacrifice and discomfort. So don't run from the hard moments. Run toward them, because on the other side of discomfort is the man you want to become. How to make peace with failure. Failure feels like the end, but it's actually the beginning. Jim Rohn reminded us, failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. If you keep failing, it's because you're repeating the same mistakes. But failure itself is not the enemy, it's your reaction to failure that decides your future. Make peace with failure by changing your story about it. See failure as feedback. See it as proof you're trying. See it as a lesson you can't learn any other way. When you fail, don't run or hide. Face it head on. Ask, what did I learn? What will I do differently next time? High-value men don't fear failure. They embrace it because they know it's part of the process. They don't quit when they fall. They get up stronger and wiser. Failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Respect it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. The power of radical ownership. Radical ownership means taking full responsibility for everything in your life. No excuses, no blaming others. Jim Rohn said, you must take personal responsibility. You cannot change the circumstances, the seasons, or the wind, but you can change yourself. That's the key. You can't control what happens, but you control how you respond. Owning your life means accepting both your wins and your failures. It means looking in the mirror and saying, this is on me. No blame, no excuses, just action. This mindset is a game changer. When you take radical ownership, you stop feeling like a victim. You stop waiting for someone else to fix things. You become the leader of your own journey. It's not easy. It requires brutal honesty and courage, but the payoff is freedom. Freedom from the chains of blame, from the weight of regret. You start building a life where you call the shots. where you shape your own destiny. That's the power of radical ownership. Choose it, and you change everything. Be honest with yourself even when it hurts. Honesty is hard, especially when the truth is ugly. Jim Rohn taught us, the challenge of leadership is to be strong, but not rude, be kind, but not weak, be bold, but not a bully, be humble, but not timid, be proud, but not arrogant, have humor, but without folly. Honesty with yourself fits right here. Strong but humble. Being honest means facing your flaws, your failures, your excuses. It means dropping the masks you wear to look good for others. It means admitting when you're wrong and taking action to fix it. Most people avoid this kind of truth. They soften it or run from it, but real growth happens in that uncomfortable space. It's the place where change begins. When you are honest with yourself, you gain clarity, you see where you're stuck and what you need to change, and you free yourself from the lies that hold you back. This honesty isn't about beating yourself up, it's about waking yourself up, and that's how you start building a life that's real, not perfect, but real. Feel the guilt and still take full responsibility. Guilt is a natural signal. It tells you, something here needs your attention. But guilt alone doesn't change anything. Jim Rohn said, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. And responsibility is the discipline of the soul. Feeling guilty without owning your mistakes keeps you stuck. You might say, I'm sorry, but then repeat the same errors. That's a trap. Real change requires carrying the weight of your actions, not shifting it to others. Taking full responsibility means sitting with your guilt, feeling it, and then deciding to act. It means saying, this is on me, and I will fix it. No excuses. No blame. This kind of ownership builds character and respect from others, but most importantly, from yourself. It's hard. It demands courage and humility, but it's the foundation for growth. You learn to repair what's broken, to rebuild trust, to move forward stronger and wiser. That's how you turn guilt from a prison into a teacher. Choose growth over ego even when it burns. The ego loves comfort and control. It wants to protect your image, defend your pride, and avoid pain. But growth is uncomfortable. Jim Rohn said, your level of success will rarely exceed your level of personal development. And personal development means facing discomfort head-on. Choosing growth means saying, I'm willing to be wrong, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to change. It means dropping the ego's need to always be right. When someone challenges you or gives feedback, your ego wants to fight or hide. Your growth wants to listen and ask, what can I learn here? That moment of choice shapes your future. Growth will burn your ego again and again. It's the sting of accountability, the ache of change, but it's the fire that forges strength and character. If you choose ego, you stay stuck in the same patterns. If you choose growth, you break free and become better, in action, character, and results. Stop blaming others to start building yourself. Blaming others is easy. It's a way to avoid discomfort and responsibility. Jim Rohn reminded us, if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. When you blame, you give away control of your life. Each time you point fingers, you reinforce the story that you're a victim. You wait for someone else to fix your problems, and your growth stalls. But the moment you stop blaming, you start building. You take control of your story. You become the architect of your future. It's not about blaming yourself either. It's about owning your role, no matter how small or big. This shift frees your energy to focus on solutions. It shifts your mindset from powerless to powerful. So the next time life throws you a challenge, pause, ask yourself, what part can I own? What can I do next? That's how you stop being stuck and start building the life you want. Use hard truths as stepping stones, not walls. Life's hardest truths aren't meant to break you, they're meant to build you. Jim Rohn said, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. When you face tough realities, failures, setbacks, criticism, your choice is to let them block you or push you forward. Walls keep you trapped. Stepping stones help you cross to new ground. This means embracing discomfort and using hard truths as fuel for growth. Every failure holds a lesson. Every critique is a mirror showing where you can improve. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit is their response to truth. Do You build walls or stepping stones, choose wisely, your future depends on it. Be honest with yourself, even when it's ugly. Honesty with yourself is the toughest challenge you'll face. It's not about being perfect, it's about being real. Jim Rohn said, "The challenge of leadership is to be strong, but not rude, be kind, but not weak." That strength begins within. When you look in the mirror, do you see the truth or a polished version of it? Facing your flaws, mistakes, and fears is uncomfortable. You might want to hide or excuse them, but growth starts where denial ends. Ignoring problems only lets them grow. Being honest means admitting when you've been lazy, when you've avoided discipline, when you've settled for less than your potential. It means asking yourself the hard questions: why do I keep doing this? What am I afraid to change? That kind of brutal honesty is freeing. It clears the path to real change. It lets you build your life around what's true, not just what looks good. Keep choosing growth daily. Growth isn't a one-time event. It's a daily choice. Jim Rohn reminded us, success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Every day brings moments where you can choose ego or growth. You can explain away your mistakes or own them. You can defend your old habits or lean into discomfort. Growth requires persistence. It asks you to keep showing up, even when it hurts, even when progress feels slow or invisible. But every small step forward adds up. Every lesson learned, every truth faced, every responsibility taken builds momentum. Remember, the person you were yesterday isn't who you have to be. Tomorrow, choose to grow, choose to build, choose to become. Thank you for watching. Remember, growth begins the moment you stop blaming and start owning. Keep taking responsibility. No excuses. Subscribe to Grind Success to stay motivated and keep leveling up your life.